لقد كان نبوخذ نصر أول من صنع محتوى بصري، صحيح؟ وكأنما نبوخذ نصر في ذلك العصر كان صانع محتوى بما نعرفه نحن اليوم بالستوري تيلر. مضت السنون والعصور، استحضرت هذه القصة شابة فاتنة حسناء مصرية
فيها سمات ملكية، كان اسمها كليوباترا. كليوباترا هذه كانت تخوض صراعا دمويا مع أخيها للحصول على عرش مصر القديمة. لم تكن تملك جيشا كافيا ولا حتى الوقت، ولكنها تذكرت شيئا واحدا: الملك البابلي نبوخذ نصر وجد فكرة ونجح في إدراكها. القصة تنجح حيث يفشل السيف. وهنا طبعا لمعت الفكرة عند كليوباترا: يجب أن أجد حليفا قويا. ذهبت إلى الإمبراطور آنذاك، الإمبراطور يوليوس قيصر، كلنا بنعرفه طبعا. إمبراطور صعب الميراث، لا يلفت نظره أحد ولا يهتم لأحد. ماذا فعلت؟ ذكية، خططت بشكل متقن. أرسلت له سجادة ملفوفة بشكل جميل جدا كهدية، ولكن هذه السجادة لم تكن فارغة، كان في داخلها كليوباترا. وعندما وصلت إلى البلاط وفرشت هذه السجادة، خرجت منها شابة فاتنة حسناء صعقت يوليوس قيصر وكل من كان حوله في ذلك البلاط. هنا فهمت، طبعا حازت على اهتمامه وحازت فورا على ولائه المطلق. وأنا فهمت أن الترند لسنا نحن من اخترعه، بل كليوباترا أتقنته منذ فترة بعيدة جدا، منذ آلاف السنين. وأسست كليوباترا فعليا يا سادة لأسلوب كل صناع المحتوى يستخدمونه اليوم، وخاصة في عالم ريلز، هو أسلوب الهوك. لكن الأغرب أن يوليوس قيصر حتى تعلم من كليوباترا ولم يترك قصته للآخرين، كان مهووسا بالتدوين، كتب كل ما فعله يوما بعد يوم، حربا بعد حرب، لم يترك المؤرخين أن يكتبوا عنه أي شيء. لماذا؟ لأنه كان يعلم أنه في لحظة ضعف واحدة عدوه سيكتب تاريخه عنه كما يريد هو العدو. وفي تلك اللحظة ضربني سؤال هام جدا: كم من الناس خسروا تاريخهم لأنهم لم يدونوه أو يرووه بأنفسهم؟ أليس كذلك؟ تأملت بما فعله يوليوس قيصر، وكأنما كان في عصره صانع محتوى يشبه ما نعرفه نحن اليوم بالفلوجر. ثم ظهر شاب آخر لم يعش طويلا ولكنه عاش بسرعة، اسمه الإسكندر المقدوني. في عز شبابه بنى أكبر الإمبراطوريات في التاريخ. أراد طبعا بعد هذا الإنجاز أن يذكر العالم كله ما قام به، وهكذا فعل. لكن كيف؟ طبعا ليس في السيف، هو يعلم أن هذا لن ينجح، ولكن بطاقم العمل الذي كان حوله بالفريق. لقد كان يملك أفضل الفنانين وأفضل المؤرخين والنحاتين والكاتبين، مهمتهم فقط: اكتبوا عني وارسموا صورتي وانشروها عبر العالم، أريد أن أصل إلى العالمية بما فعلت. وهنا فهمت شيئا خطيرا: الانتشار ليس كما تظنون، هو ليس صدفة أبدا، الانتشار خطة وصناعة. وفعلا كان الإسكندر المقدوني أول من أتقن فن البيرسونال براندينج. طبعا وجعني راسي من البحث في هذه العصور، قررت أن أذهب إلى عصر آخر. فجأة وجدت نفسي مجددا في العراق وفي بغداد تحديدا. ذهبت إلى عصر كان العلم فيه هو الترند، عصر مليء بصناع المحتوى. لم يكونوا طبعا هواة ترند وشهرة فارغة، طبعا لا، بل كانوا العلماء. ومن بينهم رجل حول محنته إلى أعظم إنجاز بصري في التاريخ: الحسن بن الهيثم. سجنه أحد السلاطين فاستغل محنته، أغلق عليه في غرفة ظلماء، ولكنه لم يلحظ أن هناك ضوء يتسرب من هذه الغرفة. ولكن الحسن بن الهيثم عرف أن هذا الشعاع هو طريقه نحو العالمية والنجومية. أجرى تجاربه وأخرج من هذه الغرفة كتاب اسمه كتاب المناظر. ويا محاسن الصدف، هذا الكتاب يستخدم بعد قرون استخدمه الأوروبيون وأهل الغرب في صناعة ما نعرفه نحن اليوم بالكاميرا. وللمفارقة يا سادة، أدركت شيئا غريبا: أن أول سينماتوغرافر في التاريخ ولد في الظلام. لكن ألم تفكروا مثل ما فكرت الآن؟ عصر اشتهر بكثرة صناع المحتوى، وين؟ طب كيف نشروا محتواهم؟ شو هي منصات النشر؟ هل كان عندهم فعلا منصات ينشرون عليها هذا المحتوى؟ طبعا مكتبة دار الحكمة الشهيرة كانت المنصة التي ينشر بها كل الأدب وكل العلم وكل الفن آنذاك، كانت مصدر قوتهم وإرثهم. وكأنما كانت مكتبة دار الحكمة في ذلك العصر ما نعرفه نحن اليوم باليوتيوب أو منصات النشر الأخرى. إرث هذه الأمة وازدهارها سمع به قوم اسمهم المغول، جمعوا بين القوة والذكاء، وأثبتوا أمرا خالدا، أنه إن كنت تجهل نقطة القوة بك فتأكد جيدا أن عدوك يعرفها. نحن المغول سنزيل خطر هذه الأمة وسنحافظ على تمددنا أكثر فأكثر. سنهزمهم بإتقان ما يتميزون به. سنصنع المحتوى لكن على طريقتنا نحن، فليس كل المحتوى جميل، أليس كذلك؟ ابتكروا طريقة جديدة في الإعلام. كانوا قبل أن يصلوا إلى مدينة لغزوها ينشرون أفرادا منهم إلى هذه المدينة لنشر قصصهم ورعبهم وروايتهم. كانوا يفعلون ذلك، وفعلا كان يستسلم أهل هذه المدينة قبل أن يروا حتى جنديا واحدا. فقلت في نفسي، ماذا؟ هل حقا استخدم هؤلاء في عصرهم ما نطلق عليه نحن اليوم الذباب الإلكتروني أو البروباغندا الإعلامية أيضا؟ هولاكو القائد المغولي المحنك والقوي وجد المفتاح لينهي أمة في أوج ازدهارها. إن أردت أن تنهي شعبا فعليك أولا أن تقضي وتنهي كل إرثه، وهذا ما حدث. دمروا وأحرقوا دار الحكمة. هل تذكرونها؟ دار الحكمة دمروها بكل ما فيها، وألقوا بما تبقى من كنوز العرب التي تمثلت في كتبهم في نهر الفرات. ألم تسمعوا تلك المقولة التي تقول أن نهر الفرات لونه تحول إلى لون الحبر؟ لكن للأسف ليس اللون فقط ما تحول، بل سقط فيه عصر كنا نحن رواده. وهنا تيقنت، أوليس من كانوا في الأمس صناع محتوى صنعوا مجد الأمة بموادهم ومحتواهم، وحين اندثر معه كل هذا المجد. لكن في زمن الانهيارات والجوع ظهر رجل لم ييأس، ظل يكتب وأصر أن ينشر ما وصل إليه من رحم معاناته. هذا الرجل هو ابن خلدون. لقد كانت فرصته الذهبية للنجومية، فكتب كتابا اسمه المقدمة. فعلا فرصة للنجومية وأتقن ذلك، وهذا الكتاب للمفارقة أصبح بعد قرون المرجع الأساسي لأهل الاقتصاد العالمي. كتاب ابن خلدون هذا.
سمع بسيرته رجل آخر بعده بقرون اسمه بنيامين فرانكلين، وفكر، لما لا أنتهز أنا أيضا فرصتي؟ عندي كثير أفكار للتحفيز وتطوير النفس وما شاكل ذلك. لما لا أتحدى نفسي 30 يوما، وفي كل مرة سأغير شيء ما في نفسي وأطورها إلى الأفضل. وفعلا اشتهر بهذا التحدي، تحدي 30، وأصبح هذا الرجل أول من أتقن المحتوى، محتوى اللايف كوتشنج أو محتوى تطوير الذات. وهنا يا سادة عدت إلى سؤالي الأول: ماذا لو انقطع الإنترنت؟ هل حقا سنختفي؟ الجواب كان واضحا: صانع المحتوى لا يختفي، لكن الحاجة إلى من يروي قديم قدم التاريخ الغابر. نحن لم نخترع هذه المحنة، نحن فقط نكمل هذه السلسلة، لأنه تاريخيا صناعة المحتوى كانت دورا قياديا خالدا يقيم حضارات ويهدم أخرى. صناع المحتوى عبر العصور الغابرة كانوا هم الوسيلة الوحيدة يا سادة للمجد والخلود، لكن ما بقي عالقا ولم أجد له إجابة. هل نشبه نحن اليوم صناع المحتوى في هذا العصر ما كان عليه أسلافنا؟ هل ما ننتجه من مواد هي سبيل خلود إرثنا، أم أنها ستؤسس لفنائه؟ شكرا لحسن استماعكم. كان معكم حسن هاشم، يعطيكم ألف عافية. اسمحوا لي في النهاية أن أعلن عن أسماء الفائزين في مسابقة الريل الذهبي: عمر شعبان
آية حسين، رانيا شمص، أصايل صولي، وسيف مشرف. كل التوفيق لكم وشكرا والسلام.
Thank you so much, Hassan.
Thank you, that was wonderful. Now, who here has watched a creator do something, it's so insane you had to pause and go, there is no way that actually happened. What did I just watch?
Yeah, what was that? So we've all seen the adrenaline, the daring feats, the viral moments, but what we don't see is what happens when the cameras stop rolling, when it's real and it's very dangerous.
Now, for the first time, our next guest is opening up about the moments that genuinely terrified him.
The times that he thought he might not actually walk away, the scariest, deadliest, most catastrophic situations that he's faced on and off camera.
And now, before we jump into a session with him, join us in watching this video. Thank you. The incredible Arab.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? I'm supposed to do an AMA, so that means any of you can ask me any questions. I'm Arab, I go to dangerous places, but I teach people how to not fear in everything in life, because fear is actually all in your mind, and humans are not evil. Humans are usually pretty good, and the media lies a lot. So who's the first question? Anybody, you. They'll bring you a mic.
No. You need to stand up. Okay.
What's your name, bro?
My name's Anir.
Go ahead.
So my question is, what do your parents think about you going to all of these dangerous countries?
My dad eventually learned to live with it, and my mom still texts me and calls me about 12 times a day, asking me if I'm okay, even if I'm in Dubai.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead. No questions are off limits, by the way. You guys can go as deep as you want.
Thank you for giving me this chance to ask the question. How do you manage your distractions by all these places that you have been there? Of course, there are times that distractions come to you because you're a content creator. How do you manage this?
What is a distraction?
Checkings by like news, I don't know, messages come to you.
I don't look at the news.
You don't look at
I don't look at the news.
What about the messages or all the things that you have to do?
Well, I have to still play the game of social media, but I try to live in the moment. I try to turn my phone off.
Do you explore or do you scroll?
I do sometimes get caught in scrolling. I'm not going to tell you I'm perfect, but I try to turn it off when I can, and I open scripture. Because scripture from all sorts, from Muslim to Hindu to Christian, has wisdom in it, and it teaches you how to live life. Go ahead.
Hi, Arab. I'm Balnoor. I'm from Kazakhstan, and I'm also a travel content creator. Recently, I also visited Afghanistan and Pakistan, and I hope you also experienced their greatest hospitality around the world in those countries. My question is, what is the scariest travel experience you ever had on your travels?
I wanted to interview a hitman in Mexico, and I came across a reel on my Instagram timeline of an ex-hitman who had converted to Islam, and it had 2,000 views. So I said, this is the only time in my life that God is going to give me a guardian angel to allow me into the Mexican cartel. So I DM'd him, I set up a 5-day trip with him. I spent 4.5 days earning trust, but the issue is that on day 1, the Mexican government saw this ex-hitman who was with me and me, who is known for this kind of journalism, and they invaded the people who were showing us around. So for the next 4 days, we had a hit on us. And there was another cartel basically trying to kill us, but I really wanted to interview the hitman because I was already there. So I stayed, and day 4, I felt for the first time ever my face uncontrollably twitching, as if God was telling me to get out. But I was still there, and I invested too much money and time being there, so I was going to the jungle anyway. This question, never mind.
How's it going?
How are you, sir?
Good, good. What place that you visited were you the most surprised by, either positively or negatively?
Afghanistan changed my perception of life. My whole life, I grew up as an American, thinking that people in Afghanistan are all quote-unquote terrorists, and then I got there and I realized that there was 40 million people that live in Afghanistan, and they were from all walks of life, people with blue eyes and blonde hair, people with darker skin, people speaking multiple languages, some people speaking 6 languages, and every single person wouldn't let me spend a single dollar. They were just happy that I was coming to Afghanistan to eat their food, to try their culture. Even the Taliban would sit me around in a room, 20 Taliban generals and suicide bombers every single night, and they would try to convert me to Islam, as I was a raised Christian. And I was able to they would tell me before every conversation, they said, hey, listen, you're a guest in our house, in our country. You're completely safe to have whatever discussion you want while you're here. And there was a few of them that were open-minded, and I saw this spark open in their eyes, as if they were trying to learn something from me. And then there was the other 95% of them that looked at me like, you can lead a donkey to water, but you can't make him drink. So Afghanistan changed my perception of life, and China as well. As an American, I was taught that China is the enemy, China, blah, 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 but China is living way ahead of America. They have better technology. You can go anywhere across China for $80 in a bullet train. It's way cheaper. It felt way cleaner. People had respect. There's so many different societies that teach you and open your perception. I would say Afghanistan and China are 2 of them.
Yo, when did you start your journey, and what motivated you to it? What made you start it with all these risks?
I used to be a professional gamer. So then COVID hit, and gaming was really big. And then when the world started opening up again, everyone was kind of sick of gaming, and I had this money saved up from pro gaming, and I said, I'm going to go see the world. So I started going to see the world about 4.5 years ago, and I got really into the dangerous stuff about 3.5 years ago, because I was like testing all the limits of life. I was like, okay, what can I do in this city? And eventually normal travel got kind of boring, and I was like, okay, I can go befriend this guy in this village, and I know how the family structure works, and as long as I get the kids on my side, even the most dangerous gangster has to bow. And then if you get the mother on your side, especially, every gangster has a mother. So I just got really good at that, and I was like, okay, well, nobody's really doing this, and I want to show the humanity in life, so let's do it. And it almost like accidentally happened. Like I would end up in Brazil, and an Uber driver is from the favela, and then he invites me to the favela, and then the gang leader is also known in the favela, and then he lets me in because he likes me, and it just all happened. It just all like accidentally happened because I was open-minded and willing enough to go and speak to these people that are so demonized. Like, no way they're all evil, right? Like, I'm from Lebanon. I've been to all the poor places in Lebanon, and it's usually pretty nice people. Like, poor people are pretty friendly. They're not looking at you or judging you. They just want to eat, or they want you to buy them water, and then they'll tell you all the suffering they've been through, and they have empathy for you. Where are we next?
Hello, Farah Ghanem here.
How are you?
How do you bounce back emotionally after such a tough trip, especially when it comes to emotional intelligence?
I would say that the toughest trip I had emotionally was when I got kidnapped in Haiti for 2.5 weeks. And growing up in the West, they teach us a lot about therapy and trauma, and I never really liked the idea of therapy and trauma. I learned that it's actually experience. You can choose to either be destroyed by an event like that, or you can choose to grow and learn from it. And so you have to actively choose to grow and learn. There is trauma and there is experience, and you can choose both.
Arab, it's a great pleasure to meet you in this event.
My question to you is, what are the 3 destinations on your bucket list and why?
If I told you where I'm going tomorrow, or actually tonight, which I can't do because it's an operational security risk, that's one of them. Other 2 destinations, I want to wrestle a bear in Russia. And then there's these dudes who, and I don't recommend this to anybody, but there's these dudes on social media that drink a bunch of vodka and they drive cars off buildings in Russia. I kind of want to sit in the car with one of them and experience that, because none of them have died yet, so clearly they're doing it right. And then 3, Delta, Nigeria. Who said that wasn't one? Delta, Nigeria. I want to go deep into Delta, Nigeria, but I promised myself no, how do I say it? No African countries after I got kidnapped for a while. So it's been 2 years now, I'm ready to go back.
Hello, I'm here. First of all, thank you so much for this amazing session. Just have a quick question.
Sure.
When it comes to visiting countries, what was the most hectic debrief about that specific country? And have you ever encountered a country where they thought you were a spy or something that trying to get some information?
What was the first question?
What was the most heavy, dense debrief about specific country? So basically, what do's and don'ts of a country that you were visiting? And have you ever encountered a situation where a country thought you were a spy of some sort of?
I think the biggest risk of any country I go to is them thinking I'm a spy. What I do is technically better than spy work, because I get deeper than any spy can really get. That's usually the major risk, and the biggest time that I encountered them thinking I was a spy was Afghanistan. 2 days in, the Central Intelligence of Afghanistan called us, my guides, and they brought us to the side of the road. We met, and for an hour I was just sitting outside the car while he was having a meeting with my guide. So I was like, okay, the whole time they're joking with me, oh, we like you, unless we find out you're a Yahudi spy. And I was like, okay, well, what if I'm not and you think I am? Maybe this is why people are afraid of Afghanistan. So luckily I was good. God was just testing my faith. As for the first part of your question, I don't really understand it, so maybe it's better we just move on to the next one. Can I pick, or is someone with a mic already?
Hello, Arab. How are you?
How are you?
You posted a story that tomorrow you might die. First of all, please don't. But why did you post that?
Well, I posted that because it's 1, true, where I'm going tomorrow, but 2, because it was a good hook for the meetup that's happening today at 4 p.m. If you guys want to ask more questions after the AMA, we're going to be outside the Mr. Beast, that big circle booth, for you guys to come through and ask anything after, since our time is limited on this stage. Who's next? You. Oh, you. I like you.
Hey.
Your content is very cool and inspiring.
Thank you, brother.
Let me shake your hand.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You are one of the goats of the space.
Thank you, thank you. I love your work too.
Thank you.
Of all the countries, all the places, all the adventures, is there any particular person whose story affected you the most?
Yeah, actually the guy who kidnapped me, I wish I could sit with him and have dinner with him, because he asked $600K for my life, and he worships this like dollar amount no matter who gets hurt. And when he would walk into the room with us, because of the faith that we had, he would become weak. It's like he was asking for a way out of his situation, and he would come sit with us and he would like become happy. Out of all the evil stuff that he does, he would become happy. So I wish I could sit with him at like a nice $1,000 dinner here in Dubai and show him that like this $600K that he was asking for, that he's willing to kill someone and hurt so many families for, rich millionaire here throws into a watch and puts it in his closet and it collects dust and it means nothing. So it was that guy.
Hey man, hey Arab, good to see you again. My first question is, what's your strategy when you're moving to or traveling to a country? What things that you checklist, okay, this should be checked, and what's your game plan? Just out of curiosity. And second, about Taboo TV, why Taboo TV and why not other platforms?
So as for a game plan, I usually have a rough game plan where I'll scout potential dangers or ability to access cash. How much cash do I need to enter into this country? I don't really make too many big contacts in a country. I normally just Well, God sends me places, so he gives me everything I need along the way, from a driver who will appear to a guy along my path that will give me something that I need to like just sick content that will appear along the road. I don't do too much planning because I think the best adventure is usually in the moment. As for Taboo TV, I had this site called Arab Uncut where it got up to 750,000 users in 4 months because people really wanted to see the content, and it got super expensive where I couldn't run it anymore. So I put it behind a paywall, and within 8 months, I made $300,000. People were paying to see my content. Said, okay, this has to be bigger than Arab. There's so many creators that are traveling the world now with a phone in their hand, and they're all traveling and they're mapping the entire globe, but they don't actually see the massive vision of the impact of what they're having is. They're usually just chasing a way out to earn their freedom, and then they're getting hit left and right by censorship and demonetization, and they have to throw away their best content, which is actually the most revealing and educational content that they have. And sites like Patreon will ban you if you post that stuff. So I created Taboo TV in order to map the globe. We have a globe now where you can geotag videos. We have 9 creators, and you can zoom into different parts of the globe and see these villages and cultures that have existed for thousands of years, way before we even had the ability to film them, and learn from them, and learn that there are humans in other countries, and the media, the negative media that we see, is not always true. I think that's my time. 4 p.m. there's a fan meetup at the Feastables booth, so we'll see you guys there, I think.
Such an incredible Arab. Thank you. That was awesome. I hope you guys got a chance to ask your questions and learn something. Yeah?
Yeah, and if not, again, he'll be meeting up with y'all later by the Feastables section. All right, now we got more great content coming. Who's excited for what's next? Yeah? Okay. All right, who here too has also had one content format that has done really well, and you thought, okay, well, it's great that this is growing really well, but how do I grow from here without losing what made people follow me in the first place?
Well, if that's how you felt, you're definitely not alone.
This panel is all about taking what works and turning it into something sustainable without losing your voice or your core community.
Joining us is Marina, creator and founder known as Silicon Valley Girl, with 18 million plus followers, who scaled from one niche into multiple global channels.
Yes, we also have COA, one of Asia's fastest growing creators and a Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree.
Also joining them is Zach Lim, founder of YAEY Productions, who has taken her short-form content and turned it into long-form success.
And this is moderated by Timothy Salmon from Catface and Foul. Please welcome Marina, Slowway, Zach Lim, and Tiffany to the stage. Let's make some noise.
Big round of applause for them. Welcome. Lovely to have you.
Hey everybody. So most creators, they dream about making an empire. What people don't tell you is that that expansion is usually strategic and not just a milestone. Today we're going to kind of unfold when to understand is the right time to grow your channel beyond just one form of media. So I obviously have a chance to sit here and talk to some of my now favorite people I've gotten to meet. I love your channel so much. So we'll just jump right in. So shall we? You started this channel about 5 years ago. You're one of the most fun and engaging comedians on any platform that I've gotten to meet and be around. What was it like starting that and with Zach starting this process?
Hello. Hi. So hi everybody. I'm Xiaowei.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we started create content since 5 years ago through TikTok. 5 years ago, we saw something big from China. They have this thing called Douyin, and then we knew this is gonna be something big. And we have this like TikTok. It's like an international version. And then this is my boyfriend, aka boss.
Hi everyone.
He said, okay, you have to get into this TikTok. So that's how we started during the COVID time. You know, we are both from the finance background, but we are in this content creation industry. Yeah, and 3 years ago, we got into this YouTube because of the YouTube Shorts. And yeah, that's where we came from.
Nice. Yeah, that's where it took off faster than our TikTok. So right now we are, mostly YouTube first. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, what made you guys choose to go from short form content to long form content?
Yeah, it was more of like we had enough good short videos that we can actually repurpose them, because data is already proven it's a good video. So we just repurpose them, combine them together, and reshoot the whole thing. So we have pretty much confidence in the long video that it will perform not too bad in a way. Yeah, and it turns out pretty okay. Yeah.
Yes, because we post like one per day, like for every day throughout the whole year. So we have a lot of data to know, like, okay, which perform better. So we collect everything and then we put it into, like, repurpose it, and then we form it into like a long video.
Nice. And then Marina, so you're an extremely talented entrepreneur. I personally knew you as the Silicon Valley girl, but that's not really how you got started. Can you kind of walk us through how you got started and moved on to Silicon Valley girl?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Marina, and I have multiple personalities online. I think it comes from all my different interests. So I started my YouTube channel 11 years ago, and it was in Russian. I talked about standardized tests. My first video was about taking GMAT. And then before that, 3 years before that, I started building a company, and my dream was always to go and study in the US, and I started my channel when I started that process, so I decided to document the whole application thing. And then we moved to the US because of my company, because it raised investment in Silicon Valley. And when we landed in Silicon Valley, I realized I can do the same thing, but in English, so I started my Lingua Marina channel, which is focused on, again, standardized tests, admissions, and English for non-native speakers. But then 2 years later, I realized my friends in the US are not consuming my content because it's not interesting for them. So I started Silicon Valley Girl. And because I have three YouTube channels, I needed different Instagrams. I needed different TikToks. I needed different newsletters. So yeah, it's a lot.
So then would you definitely say your expansion was a little bit more audience-based or strategy-based?
I think it came from, again, my own interest, because I started, so first of all, I realized you can't mix languages on one platform, like on one channel. It's going to be confusing for everyone. But then I realized you can't really mix different topics within one channel, because I started posting investment content on Lingua Marina, and it was tanking all the time. But I really wanted to talk about fundraising and building a company, so I had to start a third channel. So it's both. It's feedback from my audience, they were not watching, but also analytics, you look at the numbers and you're like, okay, this is obvious.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And then, Shelby and Zach, so when was it that you realized that your main channel had potential to branch out and create your animated channel, the Shall We World?
Yeah, actually, we started through our main channel called Shall We. Okay, to set the context, we do content for kids, for about this height to this height, something like that, okay? Beyond that, there might be their parents. Yeah, so, and then we realized that people starting to talk about, in the comment, not only about the content itself, they started to talk about the character. They start to connect with, like, different characters in our story, so that's why, like, we started to have like different kind of accounts, different channels, and we also have the animated version. You can talk about the animation one.
Yeah, so the animated version was actually inspired by a friend who did an animated version of ourselves. And then we were thinking like, hey, what if we turn Xiaowei into a cartoon, which is going to be so cool? So fortunately, we had someone in our team who knows how to do animation. So she actually started this. Our first video, and then I would say it took off pretty okay after that. It's not, of course, it's not at the same scale as our live action channel, but it's doing pretty okay, I would say. Yeah.
No, I think it's fantastic. So then I got that. So you guys have multiple characters that you play all of them on.
Actually, kids don't really know about it. Now I review. Okay. Yeah, it's all played by me. We have like different characters, 10 plus, 20-ish characters. Yeah. So we created like the shall we universe. Yeah.
No, and that's fantastic. How do you test your ideas and your characters for your videos? What makes you choose one way over the other?
To be honest, every time when we created one character, is that we just went into our wardrobe and then we try to put on everything on me, and then I walk out, ask them, okay, what do you think? Is that good? Is that cute? If they not, and then I will know, okay, this is gonna be something. Then we will come out with new content for them.
Nice. And then, Marina, what do you use to validate for an idea for your videos? What's your process to say, hey, this is a topic I want to talk about?
Great question. So first of all, it has to come from a personal interest because otherwise it's a bad video. But we are very also data-driven. So first of all, because I do podcast, we have a perplexity thread that analyzes every single guest, and we have different parameters like, are they well-spoken? Do people know about them? Do they have opinions? Because sometimes you interview someone who's very high up, but because they're so PR trained, you can't really get anything from them. So we try to talk to people who have opinions. So we entered everything into this perplexity thread. So if you give me a name, I can put it in and it will tell me like what is the priority for that guest. And we try to only reach out to like our top priority because this really correlates with the views. And then of course we analyze everything that's going on YouTube. If there's a trend, we try to jump on it. Like if people are talking about the AI bubble, then we are trying to find a guest or create a solo podcast about that. So yeah, a lot of data, a lot of numbers, but also again, it has to be my personal interest.
Yeah, and you post on so many different platforms, and I work for a creator that does the same thing, and it's really hard to keep that brand moving from one channel to another. What do you do to enforce your brand or your tone and voice from one channel to the other and platform-wise?
Yeah, I think it's a very crucial thing in 2026 now. We have so many different platforms, which means that we kind of have to be present everywhere because otherwise you're missing out. Like I think 2025 was the year of LinkedIn, where I met so many people who told me, I quit my job in August, and by October, I was making a full-time salary, but of LinkedIn. And I guarantee, like I met 5+ people who told me that. And this is fascinating. So you don't want to miss out on that trend, especially because I come from entrepreneurial background. I started my first company when I was 21, so I kind of know how to hire. So my strategy there, okay, I see LinkedIn's growing, and I have all of these ideas that I already put on YouTube. Why don't I hire a person who specializes on LinkedIn, and they're not full-time. She's in London. She manages other profiles. She gets paid by post. And I tell her, like, hey, I'm going to pay you for 5 posts every week. You just take whatever I have on YouTube, whatever I have on my, I don't know, Russian Telegram, and make a post out of it. And she knows exactly how it should be. And, like, you can use different AIs. There is an AI tool called EasyGen that you just dictate something into that AI tool, and it creates a perfect LinkedIn post, and it was done by a guy who's like top creator on LinkedIn. So you find tools, you find ways. And if you're just starting by yourself, of course, it takes extra time. But if you spend 1 or 2 days just building a system for yourself, like, okay, this is my GPT thread that knows exactly how to post on X, and you give it all the information, you give it all the templates, all your favorite X posts, then it's so much easier. And you just generate one idea, and it goes onto multiple platforms. And then, like, you start hiring.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm going to have to look some of those up for sure.
Please.
Yeah. Zach, so I know that you helped pioneer changing from short form to the long form. You also are part of the big reason why you guys made multiple channels. What type of things make you decide what belongs on what channel? What makes it to the animated channel versus the main channel?
To be honest, for us, it's actually everything is on the main channel. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I mean the best ideas always go on the main channel. The not so, something that we want to test will go to the other channels. Yeah.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, most creators, you want your main channel to pretty much thrive a little bit better, and then you take that knowledge, bring it over. What would you say is your favorite character that you've played in any of your videos that you've done?
Sorry?
what's your favorite character that you've played outside of yourself?
Outside of myself, I wanted to say this. Okay, this is my main character, always wearing a red hoodie. For the next favorite one is, of course, the besties, the best friend. And actually, I watch anime from Japan. There's a character called Chibi Maruko. I love it so much. And then end up, I feel like I act like them. I act like an anime. And there is a little cute best friend. Her name is Basti, wearing a spec. He's a best friend of the main character. And yeah, by accident, we created that one.
Yeah, so that was more of like a sidekick, and she's a very pure-hearted person who always, it's just her best friend, her most loyal best friend. So I think some of the audience also like that character a lot too.
Yeah, and you guys are working on a new venture that is coming out very soon. I'm really excited for you guys to talk about. Can you share with the audience what you're working on?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, we are coming out with a new Roblox game. So yeah, it's all our audience, I believe, plays Roblox. So it's something that we must do. So it's a combination of like the most popular game right now with our own IP. So it's coming out in May, and then I believe you have something to share too in your channel.
Yeah, I mean, we're also in the same space. So
Yeah.
we were connecting earlier about this because we are working on our own game as well for our channel. So I'm taking notes from what you guys are doing because I'm very excited to see. Zach showed me a little bit of what they're working on. What was the path and goal to put your own brand into this game that you're making? What type of pieces from your shows did you put into it?
Okay, to be frank, it's not, we haven't like finalized it yet, but we are definitely going to put her like the main characters and also like the main the most common backgrounds that she used. Everything that
my voice. Yeah.
Basically the audience the stuff that the audience can recognize. Everything will be inside. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you from what I saw, this is going to be great. And then Marina, so you're obviously way more than just a creator. You're a very talented entrepreneur. You've already done things like co-create, co-lead, and education platform. But can you go into some of the other things that you do outside of the creator space or outside of creating content yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. As we discussed, I was the first creator to raise a venture round, and I think it's just such a fascinating concept. So I have friends who are like, they're all about future, and they once told me like, why do you think people invest in companies? Because especially when you invest in early stage startups, you basically invest in the founder and their idea. And as we know, 95% of startups fail, but very often founders go on and start another company, and maybe the third company is successful, the fourth company is successful, and you want to support them. So why, instead of investing in companies, why don't we invest in humans? That was their whole thesis. And so they started investing in entrepreneurs, and they shared this idea with another investor, Sam Lesson, who was early at Facebook, and he said, I want to do the same, but for creators. And they recommended me as a creator. The first time I heard this idea, I'm like, whoa, sell 5% of my creator career? What is that? But then it took us 6 months. We did the deal. It was back in 2021. I raised 1.7 million as a specifically in creators, not just as people dancing in front of cameras, right?
Oh yeah, no, I always say all the time, once you post your first piece of media,
metric is views. And yes, a lot of people would tell you, oh, you shouldn't care about the views. But at the end of the day, this is how, this really affects the money that you're making. This affects how you're supporting your family. This affects your well-being because you're thinking about the numbers. That's how audience reacts to your content. So numbers are important. And sometimes you just start chasing numbers. You stop thinking about your audience. You stop thinking about the values that you're trying to translate into the world. You just start following stupid trends. And I did it. In 2022, I started posting shorts, and they went super viral. Like, every short would get like 10 million views. And they were like about the cost of living in California. So I became known as a dumb girl that overspends on everything. And I was like, I don't know if I want those views. I don't know if that's really me. So I burnt out and I stopped.
Yeah,
that was a great mistake. I learned, you don't have to chase all the trends.
I mean, we all do. I mean, everybody who's successful has made at least one or two mistakes at some point, including not sometimes putting in things and processes that you wish you did. Is there anything that you guys wish that you've done that you're doing now that you wish you did earlier to be successful?
I think we should start earlier because actually we are not young anymore.
And I mean, relatively wise, let's say we saw like Sean who does magic. He's like 23 and has been doing this for so long, and then he has a fiance, getting married soon. Was like, oh my God, we are like at 30 plus. We should have started like much earlier if that was possible. Yeah.
Wait, kids don't know I'm 30. They thought I'm at their age. So, but with the wrinkles. So I should start earlier here.
All right, so then I'm going to ask all of you to finish this for me. So this is a sentence. If you only remember one rule for expanding beyond one channel, what would that rule be?
Hiring. You have to hire. Like, it's the only way to stay sane. As you mentioned, it's a long-term game, right? You don't want to be a creator for a year or 2 years. You want to be a creator for at least 5 years because this is where the magic happens. This is what I realized. You do something for 5 or 6 years, and then magically you start knowing a lot of people. People know that you're serious, that you're in it, and great things start happening. So you want to build everything in a way that you can have rest. If you want to start a family, you should be able to start a family as a creator. And it's all about hiring. And ideally, if you could listen to some of the greatest entrepreneurs, I think Steve Jobs said that 80% of his work was just trying to hire the best people to build the company. And I think creators should also think about that in this way. Yes, you are in front of the camera, but you don't have to be the editor. You don't have to be the strategist. I always thought I was the best at strategy until I hired a strategist for my channel, right? Same with editing. You think you're irreplaceable, but you are. But you're not replaceable in front of the camera. So figure out what your superpower is. Maybe it's editing, maybe it's being in front of the camera, maybe it's coming up with amazing scripts. And then try to delegate the rest. And in this world, you can delegate to AI, which costs $20 a month, or sometimes it's free. You can delegate to people outside your home country if you're in the US and it's super expensive. There are so many opportunities to start hiring, and of course you're going to make mistakes. Of course you're going to be unhappy with the result, but that's the way you learn. And this really gives you this work-life balance. It really gives you this unprecedented growth and the ability to be on different platforms at the same time.
Nice. Okay, so Shelby, same question. What would you, if you could only remember one rule for expanding, what would it be?
First of all, I would say make rational choice and make all the decisions based on the data. And next, I would say make sure we bring good impacts to the society, especially for us. We are both doing in this kids industry. I mean, there's a lot of creators, but not much creators are doing at this gap. There's like people who are doing like kids content for like very, very small kids like Coco Melon or for the teenagers. But within this pre-teen market, not much people are doing this as far as what we know. So that's the age for them to like, you build how do we say that? Like we build their
mold them.
values.
Yeah.
You know, we form their values. So make sure we bring some good impact for them. Make sure we do something that's like spreading positivity and.
All right, welcome back, everyone.
How was your guys' break? We were just upstairs, like shoveling chicken and like shrimp in our mouth.
Yeah, we had a good meal. But we're energized and we're ready.
We're ready.
You guys grab food? Did you grab food?
What'd you eat?
Chicken.
Oh, gonna go next.
Oh, you're gonna go now?
Okay.
Okay, we'll have a break maybe soon, but stay with us for now.
Yeah.
All right, so I think let's talk about the 1 billion award, right?
Oh my gosh. Okay, yesterday was insane.
It was crazy.
So we had the opportunity to announce the winner of the award, the $1 million, the
and
$1
it was
billion
the movie
award.
Lily.
Yes,
Lily
by Zubair. Yes. Oh my gosh, and it was so exciting seeing his emotion. He starts crying. I'm like over here trying not to cry. I'm so excited for him.
Keep it cool.
Yeah,
we got this
like,
together.
Pull it together. We gotta get up here next. But it was so interesting to be like, wait, what was the behind the scenes of that? You know, like how did that award come to be? How many submissions were there?
And how did they even do it themselves? Like, what does it take for someone to make a movie that is 80% AI and 20% on the standard traditional production that we see, right?
Yeah.
From creating sounds with AI, creating images, video, using references, integrating sound, and making the lips move exactly as you want it to. I feel like it's a whole process, an ordeal. And I'm pretty sure you guys want to know how those people started their journey and how how many submissions they got, hours of review, and what made them choose Lily this year, right?
Absolutely. So in this next fireside chat, we're going to hear all about that. We're going to learn about what it took to bring it to life, the behind the scenes of everything. So we are going to go ahead and give it up for the consumer communications lead at Google, Marwa Koch. She'll be moderating this fireside chat. And then also welcome the executive creative director of the Google Brand Studio in MENA, Dan Germain. So let's welcome
Ladies and gentlemen,
stage.
Loud noises for Marwa and Dan. Welcome to the stage.
So you know we say in Arabic, yeah, that was literally the feeling that I had yesterday when we announced the winner of the $1 million award, Zubair El-Jalasi from Tunis. Honestly, huge congrats. A lot of emotions were on literally the stage yesterday. And I know, Dan, you have lots to tell us about this as well.
Well, I had the feeling that I was taking $1 million away from 4 people. Evil, an evil person, rather than, and then we did give a prize, but the amazing contestants, and to see the winner up here, that's life-changing.
Honestly, absolutely life-changing. But I will not burn the story, so please watch it on YouTube. It's available under the name Lily, Lily. Please support the director. He's actually hopefully watching us right now as well on the live stream. So Dan, you are the director of Google's Brand Studio, and you were amongst the 5 jury members to watch the shortlisted films. So you spent time judging the movies, and you've actually watched them a couple of times, which is amazing. People often think AI is robotic or cold. What was the biggest surprise for you when you were watching those movies from an emotional perspective?
I guess the biggest surprise is that the tools that people were using to make these films, they're really new. VO3 has only been in the hands of the public for 6 months or so, and already people are making amazing films with that technology. Much better films than I could make, and I work at Google, so I should be able to use the tool really well. But it's hard. You have to put in the hours. I know from talking to the finalists that those films took hundreds and hundreds of hours to make. This isn't like some magic shortcut that suddenly means that you can do this in your lunch break. You have to have a great idea. You have to have practiced every day with using the tools. You've got to be really good at prompting. You've got to be a great filmmaker. Let's not forget that. It's not just that, I could wake up tomorrow and take a new tool and suddenly be good at this. You've got to have taste. You've got to love film. Like the finalists, I think they're all filmmakers. They didn't accidentally get to this final.
It's fascinating. I was told when I was hired at the company,
if you want to work in technology, you need to fix a car while it's moving. And it's absolutely true and mattered right now in the world of AI and filmmaking. And Dan, we've actually got 3,500 entries from over 100 countries globally. That's insane. What's your perspective when we talk about those creators who may not have access to international studios, but have access to tools and we're able to tell the story?
Yeah, there is something very beautiful about that fact that we had finalists from, from every continent, from every walk of life. I guess if you're a filmmaker, historically, traditionally, you had to go to a certain city to make your film. Whether you were in India or the US or the UK, you had to know someone in the industry, whatever those connections were. I think the beautiful thing about these tools is it democratizes filmmaking in a way that's pretty unreal and spectacular. I'm actually more interested in looking at films from places in the world that aren't known for, classic filmmaking. So it's much more interesting to see. Our winner came from Tunisia, right? It wasn't some sort of privileged person with great connections in one of the usual places that great films allegedly get made.
He actually spent $300 to make his film through the subscriptions of some of the tools. So it's amazing to have the $300 transforming to $1 million within a day. Let's talk about the how, Dan. So there's a lot of tools that are accessible to everyone. When we talk Google's AI tools, we have Flow, Veo, and Imogen, and so many others. What do you think from your perspective, the main insights that you found that those shortlisted film directors were able to use our tools in a very creative way?
I think that, again, at the risk of being repetitive, that is the combination of, it's like getting good at anything, right? The practice, the hours that you put in, and then the really interesting, from talking to some of the filmmakers, there's something really interesting about how they're honing their craft. Even, whether it's an AI tool or whether you're using, live actors. One of the directors was telling me about the fact that he had trained his 2 lead actors in the film over a number of days to get their faces perfect, using Imogen, using Nana Banana, getting the right facial expressions, getting the right lines around their eyes so that when they smiled, their faces looked in a certain way. And only when he had cast, and that's what he was doing, he was kind of casting actors, only when he had cast them perfectly was he ready to move on and put them into sort of the performance parts of the film. And that was something I hadn't really, he was thinking about it as a filmmaker. He was thinking about De Niro and Pacino in Heat, sitting in the diner talking to each other, just acting with their faces, not even speaking. And I'm not as good as he is. He thought about that stuff, and I think that's the beautiful thing. Again, these tools are new. The skills that we need to operate them are not new. They're the appreciation of great film and great art and having great taste. And so this is where we've got it to in 6 months. Imagine when we come back next year and we look at, hopefully we run this award again. Imagine the films we'll get next year and the year after and the year after. And then it won't be an AI filmmaking competition. It'll just be filmmaking. Yeah.
Lily was a brilliant movie. I cried when I watched it even a couple of times. And it brought a lot of culture from Tunisia into that film. From your own point of view as well, Dan, what do you think that was very interesting of Lily?
So the winning film, Lily, was the film that made me feel something. It made me feel the most. Probably, even in subtle expression. And this was an animation, right? This wasn't trying to emulate real life. This was a kind of claymation animation film. So even in the nuance of how the face looked, I thought the audio was really good. It was kind of it had that kind of droll pseudo French cinema thing down to a T. Humanity is what it had.
I mean, for everyone who's watching us today, what do you want creators to do with our platforms? Particularly, again, maybe the 3,500 submissions to start with, but also everyone else who wants to try, AI.
I think play, experiment. Use the tools. If you are looking at the the finalists in this competition and kind of going, oh God, that looks really difficult. It is, but they only started using the tool 6 months ago, right? So you could get up tomorrow and you could play with VO3. You could put simple prompts in. You can tell, VO to make me a film where a man makes a cup of tea, and there's your 8-second, masterpiece. And then tomorrow you can make that a bit better, and you can make that a bit better. The only way to do it, like any great filmmaker, they get up, they start, they get their camcorder out. That's how Spielberg started. That's how J.J. Abrams started. That's how any filmmaker started. This is no different.
I think my final question would be back to Lily and Zubair al-Jalasi. What would your hope for him be, especially from a filmmaking perspective?
Okay, well, first of all, I hope he's waking up happy and that he celebrated appropriately last night, because if it's not every day somebody gives you $1 million. So I hope he's enjoying that feeling still. As a filmmaker, I'd be quite interested if he went back, and I talked to some of the other filmmakers about this yesterday. I don't think they all expected, nobody expects to get to the final. They've made this, some of these people have just made this as a sort of a side project, and it's good enough to get to the final. I'd be interested for Zubair or anyone to go back to the piece of work that they made and kind of make it better. Like the experience of doing it once, you can go back and make it better. Maybe they make it a bit longer. Maybe they introduce a new character. I don't know. It's not. It's never finished until it's finished, I think.
Thank you so much, Dan. Honestly, we're super happy, and I know it's a lot of emotions between everyone who worked on this project. And let me end it with a nice, hopeful statement again in Arabic. It's a truly, yeah, moment. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jan and Marwa. So fun to see behind the scenes of how everything comes to life, especially for an award of that caliber.
Right? I mean, it's one interesting thing he said is like, they only started using these AI tools 6 months ago, and they did something that is crazy to the eye of a filmmaker, because if you would use the traditional way, it takes a lot more time to actually get production like that to get done. But that's like the really interesting thing about AI today. It's not about it does the job for you. If you have a background, you also need to understand cinematography. How do I convey a certain emotion? Do I go wide and, insert this shot here? So there's a lot of skill and technique that goes into it.
And it's cool how that skill can actually be developed through AI. I know there's a lot of, do we use AI? Do we hate AI? It's a very controversial subject still, but it's not going away. And so it's like, how can we adapt and work with it, use it to,
integrate it in our
lives. Further our skill even, because I don't know.
Don't be scared of AI.
Exactly. I'm
AI
pro AI.
Is your friend. AI
It
is your
is.
friend.
It is.
Exactly. Now let's dive into our next session. Our next speaker is here to show that creators didn't start with social media. We've actually been telling stories since the first drawing on rocks.
Insane. The tools have changed over the years, but the purpose has not. Stories shape people and they build civilizations.
He's the creator behind Ghumoud, a YouTube documentary series followed by 6 million subscribers.
Everyone join me in please welcoming Hassan Al-Hashim to the stage.
Make some noise for Hassan Al-Hashim. Welcome, the stage is yours.
تست. السلام والاحترام أصدقاء الكرام، طبتم وطابت أوقاتكم، ويا مرحبا بكم في هذا الحفل الكريم والتجربة الجديدة. واسمحوا لي إذا غلطت أو شيء لأنه اسم الله عليكم كتار. بدأت حياتي المهنية كمهندس برمجيات محترف، عملت في هذا المجال لأكثر من 10 سنوات. طبعا مهندس مهنة واضحة، فيها مكانة محترمة بالمجتمع، فيها سقف، فيها مسار، فيها ضمانات على الأقل. وحين شاء الله والقدر أن أنتقل من هذا العالم إلى عالم صناعة المحتوى، صراحة كنت خائفا. كان هناك خوف كبير. يعني هو طبعا مش خوف من الفشل، ولكن هناك سؤال كان دوما يراودني ولم يفارقني يوما. شو عم بعمل؟ هل ما أفعله هو مهنة حقيقية أم هي مجرد موجة؟ مهنتي هناك مسؤوليات كمهندس، طبعا وظيفتي السابقة كان هناك مسؤوليات ومكانة مجتمعية مرموقة. هل سأبقى بها أم أنني ذهبت إلى مجال هو فقط للهو واللعب في نظر العالم والمجتمع؟ طيب، ماذا لو انقطع الإنترنت؟ هل سأنتهي؟ هنا عرفت أنه يجب أن أبحث عن شيء خاص جدا وعلى طريقتي، يعني ليس في المستقبل بل في الماضي البعيد جدا. ما أريده هو إجابة لسؤال غريب: هل كان هناك صناع محتوى في العصور الغابرة؟ وطبعا قمت بهذا البحث ولم أجد إجابة واحدة، بل خطرت إلى ذهني قصة مثيرة جدا وغريبة نوعا ما. أجابت عن كل أسئلتي إلا سؤال واحد بقي عالقا، وسأخبركم به في نهاية هذه القصة. مستعدين للأكشن؟ How can I turn this on? الله. ذهبت في بحثي إلى عصور ما قبل الميلاد، قبل أكثر من 2500 عام. وجدت في بابل ملكا يدعى نبوخذ نصر الثاني. هذا الرجل حكم كل شيء بالقوة وبالحديد وأخذ كل ما يريده، إلا أمرا واحدا، نبوءة قديمة جدا هددته وقالت له: أنتم شعب بابل إلى زوال ستزولون كما زالت سدوم وعمورة. عرف هذا الرجل هنا، طبعا جزع، وعرف أن القوة لن تنفع هنا. هو بحاجة إلى قصة تروى وترى وتخلد على مدى الأزمان لتحافظ على بابل وعلى شعبها وعلى حضارته وعلى إرثه. ماذا فعل؟ بنى بوابة ضخمة أطلق عليها اسم عشتار. هذه البوابة مكسوة باللون الأزرق، إذا مررت عبرها ستشعر أنك صغير جدا، وأنك مهما كبرت فستبقى أصغر من الدولة أو الأوطان. سألت نفسي مرارا وتكرارا: هذه البوابة صحيح لقد روت محتوى بصري، كانت تقول لشعب بابل وأهله: نحن هنا كنا وسنبقى. ولكن هل نجح نبوخذ نصر في ذلك فعلا؟ هل حصل على مراده؟ حتى ذهبت في زيارة إلى برلين إلى متحف هناك، حيث سرقت هذه البوابة من العراق ووضعت في ذلك المتحف. الزوار يا سادة كانوا حرفيا يتسمرون أمام هذه البوابة، ينظرون إليها ويسمعون قصة بابل وشعبه في العراق من دون أن تروى. هنا فورا أدركت لقد كان نبوخذ نصر أول من صنع محتوى بصري. صحيح، وكأنما نبوخذ نصر في ذلك العصر كان صانع محتوى بما نعرفه نحن اليوم بالستوري تيلر. مضت السنون والعصور، استحضرت هذه القصة شابة فاتنة حسناء مصرية فيها سمات ملكية، كان اسمها كليوباترا. كليوباترا هذه كانت تخوض صراعا دمويا مع أخيها للحصول على عرش مصر القديمة. لم تكن تملك جيشا كافيا ولا حتى الوقت، ولكنها تذكرت شيئا واحدا: الملك البابلي نبوخذ نصر وجد فكرة ونجح في إدراكها. القصة تنجح حيث يفشل السيف. وهنا طبعا لمعت الفكرة عند كليوباترا: يجب أن أجد حليفا قويا. ذهبت إلى الإمبراطور آنذاك، الإمبراطور يوليوس قيصر، كلنا بنعرفه طبعا. إمبراطور صعب الميراث، لا يلفت نظره أحد ولا يهتم لأحد. ماذا فعلت؟ ذكية، خططت بشكل متقن، أرسلت له سجادة ملفوفة بشكل جميل جدا كهدية. ولكن هذه السجادة لم تكن فارغة، كان في داخلها كليوباترا. وعندما وصلت إلى البلاط وفرشت هذه السجادة، خرجت منها شابة فاتنة حسناء صعقت يوليوس قيصر وكل من كان حوله في ذلك البلاط. هنا فهمت، طبعا حازت على اهتمامه وحازت فورا على ولائه المطلق. وأنا فهمت أن الترند لسنا نحن من اخترعه، بل كليوباترا أتقنته منذ فترة بعيدة جدا، منذ آلاف السنين. وأسست كليوباترا فعليا يا سادة لأسلوب كل صناع المحتوى يستخدمونه اليوم وخاصة في عالم ريلز، هو أسلوب الهوك. لكن الأغرب أن يوليوس قيصر حتى تعلم من كليوباترا ولم يترك قصته للآخرين، كان مهووسا بالتدوين، كتب كل ما فعله يوما بعد يوم، حربا بعد حرب، لم يترك المؤرخين أن يكتبوا عنه أي شيء. لماذا؟ لأنه كان يعلم أنه في لحظة ضعف واحدة عدوه سيكتب تاريخه عنه كما يريد هو العدو. وفي تلك اللحظة ضربني سؤال هام جدا: كم من الناس خسروا تاريخهم لأنهم لم يدونوه أو يرووه بأنفسهم؟ أليس كذلك؟ تأملت بما فعله يوليوس قيصر وكأنما كان في عصره صانع محتوى، يشبه ما نعرفه نحن اليوم بالفلوجر. ثم ظهر شاب آخر لم يعش طويلا ولكنه عاش بسرعة، اسمه الإسكندر المقدوني. في عز شبابه بنى أكبر الإمبراطوريات في التاريخ. أراد طبعا بعد هذا الإنجاز أن يذكر العالم كله ما قام به، وهكذا فعل. لكن كيف؟ طبعا ليس في السيف، هو يعلم أن هذا لن ينجح، ولكن بطاقم العمل الذي كان حوله بالفريق. لقد كان يملك أفضل الفنانين وأفضل المؤرخين والنحاتين والكاتبين، مهمتهم فقط: اكتبوا عني وارسموا صورتي وانشروها عبر العالم، أريد أن أصل إلى العالمية بما فعلت. وهنا فهمت شيئا خطيرا: الانتشار ليس كما تظنون، هو ليس صدفة أبدا، الانتشار خطة وصناعة. وفعلا كان الإسكندر المقدوني أول من أتقن فن البيرسونال براندينج. طبعا وجعني راسي من البحث في هذه العصور، قررت أن أذهب إلى عصر آخر. فجأة وجدت نفسي مجددا في العراق وفي بغداد تحديدا. ذهبت إلى عصر كان العلم فيه هو الترند، عصر مليء بصناع المحتوى. لم يكونوا طبعا هواة ترند وشهرة فارغة، طبعا لا، بل كانوا العلماء، ومن بينهم رجل حول محنته إلى أعظم إنجاز بصري في التاريخ: الحسن بن الهيثم. سجنه أحد السلاطين فاستغل محنته، أغلق عليه في غرفة ظلماء، ولكنه لم يلحظ أن هناك ضوء يتسرب من هذه الغرفة. ولكن الحسن بن الهيثم عرف أن هذا الشعاع هو طريقه نحو العالمية والنجومية. أجرى تجاربه وأخرج من هذه الغرفة كتاب اسمه كتاب المناظر. ويا محاسن الصدف، هذا الكتاب يستخدم بعد قرون استخدمه الأوروبيون وأهل الغرب في صناعة ما نعرفه نحن اليوم بالكاميرا. وللمفارقة يا سادة، أدركت شيئا غريبا: أن أول سينماتوغرافر في التاريخ ولد في الظلام. لكن ألم تفكروا مثل ما فكرت الآن؟ عصر اشتهر بكثرة صناع المحتوى، وين؟ طب كيف نشروا محتواهم؟ شو هي منصات النشر؟ هل كان عندهم فعلا منصات ينشرون عليها هذا المحتوى؟ طبعا مكتبة دار الحكمة الشهيرة كانت المنصة التي ينشر بها كل الأدب وكل العلم وكل الفن آنذاك، كانت مصدر قوتهم وإرثهم. وكأنما كانت مكتبة دار الحكمة في ذلك العصر ما نعرفه نحن اليوم باليوتيوب أو منصات النشر الأخرى. إرث هذه الأمة وازدهارها سمع به قوم اسمهم المغول، جمعوا بين القوة والذكاء، وأثبتوا أمرا خالدا: أنه إن كنت تجهل نقطة القوة بك فتأكد جيدا أن عدوك يعرفها. نحن المغول فنزيل خطر هذه الأمة وسنحافظ على تمددنا أكثر فأكثر. سنهزمهم بإتقان ما يتميزون به. سنصنع المحتوى لكن على طريقتنا نحن، فليس كل المحتوى جميل، أليس كذلك؟ ابتكروا طريقة جديدة في الإعلام. كانوا قبل أن يصلوا إلى مدينة لغزوها ينشرون أفرادا منهم إلى هذه المدينة لنشر قصصهم ورعبهم وروايتهم. كانوا يفعلون ذلك، وفعلا كان يستسلم أهل هذه المدينة قبل أن يروا حتى جنديا واحدا. فقلت في نفسي: ماذا؟ هل حقا استخدم هؤلاء في عصرهم ما نطلق عليه نحن اليوم الذباب الإلكتروني أو البروباغندا الإعلامية أيضا؟ هولاكو القائد المغولي المحنك والقوي وجد المفتاح لينهي أمة في أوج ازدهارها. إن أردت أن تنهي شعبا فعليك أولا أن تقضي وتنهي كل إرثه، وهذا ما حدث. دمروا وأحرقوا دار الحكمة، هل تذكرونها؟ دار الحكمة دمروها بكل ما فيها، وألقوا بما تبقى من كنوز العرب التي تمثلت في كتبهم في نهر الفرات. ألم تسمعوا تلك المقولة التي تقول أن نهر الفرات لونه تحول إلى لون الحبر؟ لكن للأسف ليس اللون فقط ما تحول، بل سقط فيه عصر كنا نحن رواده. وهنا تيقنت، أوليس من كانوا في الأمس صناع محتوى صنعوا مجد الأمة بموادهم ومحتواهم، وحين اندثر معه كل هذا المجد. لكن في زمن الانهيارات والجوع ظهر رجل لم ييأس، ظل يكتب وأصر أن ينشر ما وصل إليه من رحم معاناته. هذا الرجل هو ابن خلدون. لقد كانت فرصته الذهبية للنجومية، فكتب كتابا اسمه المقدمة. فعلا فرصة للنجومية وأتقن ذلك، وهذا الكتاب للمفارقة أصبح بعد قرون المرجع الأساسي لأهل الاقتصاد العالمي. كتاب ابن خلدون هذا. سمع بسيرته رجل آخر بعده بقرون اسمه بنيامين فرانكلين، وفكر لما لا أنتهز أنا أيضا فرصتي؟ عندي كتير أفكار للتحفيز وتطوير النفس وما شاكل ذلك، لما لا أتحدى نفسي 30 يوما، وفي كل مرة سأغير شيء ما في نفسي وأطورها إلى الأفضل. وفعلا اشتهر بهذا التحدي، تحدي 30، وأصبح هذا الرجل أول من أتقن المحتوى، محتوى اللايف كوتشنج أو محتوى تطوير الذات. وهنا يا سادة عدت إلى سؤالي الأول: ماذا لو انقطع الإنترنت؟ هل حقا سنختفي؟ الجواب كان واضحا: صانع المحتوى لا يختفي، لكن الحاجة إلى من يروي قدم التاريخ الغابر. نحن لم نخترع هذه المحنة، نحن فقط نكمل هذه السلسلة، لأنه تاريخيا صناعة المحتوى كانت دورا قياديا خالدا يقيم حضارات ويهدم أخرى. صناع المحتوى عبر العصور الغابرة كانوا هم الوسيلة الوحيدة يا سادة للمجد والخلود، لكن ما بقي عالقا ولم أجد له إجابة. هل نشبه نحن اليوم صناع المحتوى في هذا العصر ما كان عليه أسلافنا؟ هل ما ننتجه من مواد هي سبيل خلود إرثنا، أم أنها ستؤسس لفنائه؟ شكرا لحسن استماعكم. كان معكم حسن هاشم، يعطيكم ألف عافية. اسمحوا لي.
The way you discover a piece of YouTube content is you open up YouTube and you decide on what you want to click on. That's really unique. It's not like TikTok or Instagram where you open up the feed and it's just giving you content. You have to choose a video that you want to click on. So obviously, we just heard from David, like you open up YouTube, there's a new David Dobrik video, and you're probably going to click on that if you're familiar with him. So these are all the different ways that audiences discover your content on YouTube: search, browse, suggested, and shorts. So some of the most important ways that people discover your content are browse and suggested. So what that means is when you open up YouTube, you're going to see a bunch of different thumbnails, and you're going to choose what you want to watch, or you're watching a YouTube video, and on the right side, you're going to see a bunch of different thumbnails. So let's talk about what that means. Why do people click? Which one of these would you guys click on? Anybody have an answer? You don't have to answer. Pretty patties. So when we look at this, a couple things that are really important here. All of these thumbnails signal to me that these are food creators, that this is food content, but there's one that really sticks out. So you want to be familiar as a creator. You want to signal, I'm in the food niche, I'm making a piece of food content, but I'm different. And that's where we see that one. Pretty patties. That one stuck out. I heard someone over there yell it. So what you want to be is familiar but different. So you want to make sure people understand, okay, yes, this is a food video, but it's different. Now let's talk about this one. This is one of my favorite thumbnails on YouTube. It has 102 million views. Why are 96 million black balls on this reservoir? I think it's an unbelievable title and thumbnail. One thing that's amazing is it has an information gap. An information gap is the gap between the information that we presently know and the information we want to know. So when we look at this information gap, we see, why are there 96 million black balls on this reservoir? Well, I want to know that answer. The information I know is that there are 96 million black balls on this reservoir. The thing I want to know is why. This one, anybody watch Ali Abdaal in this room? Yeah? 9 passive income ideas. How do I make $27,000 per week? Well, I want to know. That's an information gap, right? Now, there's one other way we can look at this. When we look at all of these F1 videos, F1 is a massive topic on YouTube. People love watching videos about F1, but one of these videos really sticks out, and that's this one with Cleo Abram. And that's because she has a driver in it, Max Verstappen. That gives her a unique perspective. This doesn't mean you have to have an F1 driver in your video. It doesn't mean you have to have like an expert in your video. It means you have to have a unique perspective. Who are you that makes this different? Are you a doctor? Can you be doctor reacts to something? Are you a lawyer? What is your unique perspective you can offer now? So let's refresh this on why people click. Number 1, if you are familiar but different. Number 2, if there's an information gap. And number 3, if you have a unique perspective. You really want to think about that. Again, we talked about it with David, but it's getting harder and harder to get people to watch something. All right, rule number 2, respect their time. So this is a graph that's pretty incredible that I saw from Nielsen. So YouTube now accounts for more US TV viewing each month than Netflix. Isn't that crazy? More people are watching YouTube than Netflix. So what does that mean? That means if we're asking you to watch something, if we're asking you for your time, we're asking you to invest time with us when we show you a thumbnail, when we make a YouTube video, then the suggestion is that I'm going to give you something in return for that, right? There's a return on your investment of time, and that return is value. So I want to talk about this. When we start thinking about the stuff that we make, the value that we give is education. But there's something that I've started to think about recently. Like if we're asking you to watch a really long video, we obviously want to educate you. But there's something new. There's a new button on the screen here on YouTube that I just noticed, and it's this button. It says Ask. Okay, has anybody seen this button? It's pretty crazy. So when you press Ask, the first thing it offers you to do is summarize the video. And when you summarize the video, it gives you that education into bullets. And this is new. This is obviously part of the rise of AI. And the one thing I wanted to share with everyone in terms of the second rule of YouTube, respecting someone's time, is that although this is the creator economy, let's not lose sight of the creator side of this, the creative side. It's show business, but we still have to put on a show. So the thing that I've realized is if your video can be summarized, it is not a video. If you make educational content, informational content, and I can press that button and get the same value that I would get from watching your video, it's probably not a video. Why is it visual? Why is it entertaining? Think about that. I watched this video recently from a creator named Zach Alslop. It's an amazing video. It's super entertaining. It's emotional. And when I went to summarize this video, it gave me this beautiful kind of trailer leading into it. And that was something that I really thought was special. So when platforms start to optimize for efficiency and audiences start to optimize for efficiency, we as creatives need to optimize for meaning. We need to tell better stories. So number 3, third rule of YouTube. If you get somebody to click, if you get somebody to watch, now what do you do next? The next thing you do is you have to give them more. This is another graph that I looked at. Can you guys tell I like graphs? This is another graph that I looked at of top shows from 2020 to 2025 by minutes watched in the US. How many people watch The Office? Do people watch The Office in here? So one thing that's amazing about The Office is it has a really deep catalog that makes us feel comfortable. And that show has not been made for a really long time, but because of the catalog, people watch it. So the general rule of thumb, very simple here. If your audience enjoys one video, then offer them a similar video to make. That might sound so unbelievably obvious, but a lot of people don't do it. This is Michelle Carre. Does anybody watch Michelle Carre in here? Yes. So if you look at this, she makes a show called Challenge Accepted. And within that show, there's a titling convention. I tried, I tried, I tried, I tried. So immediately, it's recognizable on YouTube that if I like one of her videos, the next time I open up YouTube, whether I open it up on my TV app or I open it up on my phone or if I open it up on my desktop, I'm going to open it up and see I tried. It's going to be immediately familiar to me. And if I like one of these videos, I can watch another one of these videos. That's super important. You're building a catalog. You want to give the opportunity for people to watch more than one of your videos. The fastest way to grow a YouTube channel is to have one viewer watch 2 or 3 of your videos. Now, I wanted to show this example with speed. This is what's happening right now is because people are building catalogs, there's a rise of shows and series that organically have multiple parts so that I can watch multiple parts. Now, if we think about how many people are watching YouTube in their living room, they're sitting on a couch right now. They want to be entertained over long periods of time, and I think you as a creator, you have to give them the opportunity to watch more. This isn't just happening in the living room on TVs and on YouTube. It's also happening on Instagram. Anybody watch Subway Takes in here with Kareem? So Subway Takes with Kareem starts exactly the same way every single time. It's a big library of content. I can land on this page, and I can watch a ton of these episodes of Subway Takes. And that's really important as a creator. Again, you're building a catalog. So how do I even come up with this format? The one exercise I really want you guys to do, and you can start this tomorrow, or you can start it today. Take a pen and pad out and brainstorm at least 5 ideas per day. Start to think about what your format could be. Start to think about if I was to come up with something like, let's say my idea is maybe I build things. So I built a DIY, I don't know, what could I build? A DIY room, something like that. You write I built, and then you want to fill in 5 different ideas next to that. That's how you're going to start to think about your format and start to think about how to craft this catalog of content for yourself. So let's recap here. 3 rules of YouTube. They don't click, they don't watch. Number 2, respect their time. If they give you that click, you have to give them a great story, something that can't be summarized, a really great story with meaning that is not built for efficiency, it's built for enjoyment, it's built for entertainment, it's built for meaning. And then number 3, if you get them to click and you get them to watch, you have to offer them the opportunity to keep going. How many people in here have been doing YouTube for more than 5 years? Do you guys agree with these rules? Great, okay, good. That would have been bad if you said no. And how many people in here have not started YouTube yet but want to start YouTube? Wow, that's great. That's awesome. What are you making right now? Are you making Instagram, TikTok? You're just starting out. Okay, cool. So YouTube is really hard. That's what I'll say. YouTube is very hard. It's a hard platform. But if you're serious about it, and if you follow these rules, you can build an amazing audience on YouTube. It's one of the best places to share your voice. It's one of the best places to build an audience. But I wanted to leave you with this right here. That right now, we're in a world of a lot of strategy. There's going to be a lot of people who talk to you about how to strategically build an audience, how to optimize for the algorithm. But I think the most important thing that you can take away from what I'm saying, what anybody is saying, what David just said, is that you honestly have to have something to say. And I know that might sound like a little bit of fluff, but really think about what do you want to add? Because we are truly in the era of abundance with content right now. There is more content than ever. If you have an idea for a video, somebody probably is going to make that video. And somebody probably already made that video. So you have to dig deep inside of yourself and think, what do you want to say? What do you have to share with the world? Now that we have these publish buttons, now that we have these opportunities to share our voice with the world, to tell stories, what do you want to say? That's what I want to leave you with. Make sure you have something to say. Those are the lessons that I've learned from sitting with 1,000 creators. And I'll see you guys on YouTube. Thank you so much.
So much, Samir.
Thank you so much. Wow, what a weekend we had here, right?
Oh my gosh, did you guys have fun?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Come on, with all the sessions. Did you have fun? Yeah? All right. Well, it's not over yet, you guys. We still have one more thing happening. So our massive closing ceremony is happening tonight, and would like you all to be there with us. It's going to be an unreal experience that you don't want to miss.
Yes, and it is taking place at Zabeel Park, and the gates will open at 5:30.
Now, how do you get there, right? You can either drive there or transportation will be arranged for all attendees. All buses will begin departing at 6:30 p.m. That is 6:30 p.m. from the north entrance of Jumeirah Emirates Towers Boulevard. In case you don't know where that is, we have ushers around. You can ask people. That's 6:30 to the closing ceremony.
And we have an amazing show prepared for you that you do not want to miss. So be there. We'll be there too. We'd love to hang out.
We're going to be there, that's for sure. Big thank you to all our speakers. It was truly a pleasure. Thank you all for being with us. If you're here since day one, we really love you, love your energy. You guys also made this stage what it is today, right?
Really, yes.
Exactly.
Thank you and shukran to everyone for being here, being part of this.
You're like learning Arabic already.
I'm trying. Trying.
All right, thank you everyone. It was lovely having you all. See you next year. Bye-bye.